Hello, how are you, Sarah?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you so much for giving me a time, and I'm very honored to have you in this session. And there are some things that I want to ask about your experience, your journey regarding autism. So, just share your life experience, your 15 years about having a son with autism and your experience and your work experience as a parent. How do parents deal with these autistic child, and what do we have to do for their grooming? So over to you, Ma'am Sarah.
Um, what my journey? Yeah, my son was diagnosed with ADHD 15 years ago. So I then went on to study ADHD, which is when I came across Asperger's, autism, and then I've studied it ever since. And each person is different with autism, and what is good for one person is not going to be good for another person. Everyone communicates differently, everyone interacts differently, and they're the difficulties that you'll see with someone with autism. They find it hard to understand how other people think. So they don't. It's interaction, communication. They take longer to understand information that's coming in. The sensory processing. But like I say, every child is going to have different levels of difficulties. It's pinpointing what that child's level is. You have to look at their executive functioning skills, which is probably one of the main things that you'd probably see first before seeing a communication difficulty. If someone's shy and they have a difficulty communicating, they'll be called shy instead of you're finding it difficult to communicate. So let's find a way how you to communicate. So
okay.
it's
Okay, one thing I want to ask that what difficulties you face by raising your child in your society, like in your region, in UK region. My experience is of a 9-year experience. I have a son who is Down syndrome. So I want you that you are more experienced than me. That how you deal with the society, how you deal with your family, how you deal with your relatives, and all over like society pressure.
How do you deal as a parent to the people's opinions of it? I think that's when a parent's got to harden up. They've got to, it's either their child's mental health or they bother about what other people are thinking. If they, some of the behaviours they can't be helped.
Exactly.
If you have difficulty regulating your emotions and you go from 0 to 1,000 in a second, you can't help that. You've got to be taught skills to regulate your emotions so you don't go from 0 to 1,000. People have got to. I do think of it in Pakistan, they are not accepting of autism, are they?
There is variation. There's so much variation. Some parents are like they are accepting their child, and some parents are not accepting their child. They need more awareness and motivation.
Exactly. Yeah, they've got to. I mean, the thing is, whatever behaviour the child is displaying, that's them communicating. The only way they know how.
Exactly.
So, the awareness is needed. God, it's not their fault. Understand what that's their communicating.
Exactly.
Find out why they're communicating like that.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the reason?
Yes, and communication, like if first parents have to understand, especially the mother figure, have to understand to communicate with the child, either with any intellectual disability, ADHD, autism, or whatever. But we are talking about
But
autism.
ADHD and autism aren't anything to do with your level of intelligence.
Okay, okay.
They're nothing. Autism is completely separate to
Okay.
a learning disability.
Mm-hmm.
If your level of IQ is below 70,
Mm-hmm.
you are classed as a learning disability.
Okay.
But if your IQ is above,
Mm-hmm.
but that has nothing to do with autism. Autism is
Autism.
nothing to
Nothing, exactly.
be separate.
Okay, okay. Just explain what is HDHD.
ADHD.
Yeah.
ADHD is you're either hyperactive, inattentive,
Okay.
or you can be both. You can have both. You can be inattentive sometimes and hyperactive other times.
Okay.
The overlaps with autism quite a lot. I mean, that now they are saying ADHD is actually under the autism umbrella from the research that's coming up.
Okay.
Um,
Sometimes
but
these
it's,
things are interlinked. They are interlinked.
yeah,
Most of the things are
yeah,
common in autism and ADHD.
yes.
Okay.
Inattentiveness, rigid thinking, executive functioning difficulties. You're going to have them if you've got ADHD or autism. And that's why a lot of the times they can look the same.
Okay.
Because they have a lot of the same difficulties.
Difficulty, exactly. So, what would you say about your son's school experience? What about his?
He wasn't academic. He really
Yes,
struggled.
uh,
A lot of reason it wasn't interesting to him. You know, it just wasn't. It just didn't enjoy school. He didn't enjoy what the school curriculum was. You know, but if you'd have put him in a workshop with wood, he would have been attentive all day long.
Okay.
But
Instead of
with an academic
academically.
subject, no. Yeah.
Okay.
But he has no learning disability.
Okay.
So no, he's got an above average level of intelligence.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of people are getting mistaken with autism. Like I said, is nothing to do with your level of intelligence. Nothing.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. If one thing is lacking in a child, but there are so many things that raise a child with so many uh, art, the art in it, so many qualities or so many things that he or she will explore by him or herself.
You have so many famous actors and comedians that are now letting everyone know that they are autistic. They don't have a learning disability. You know, you've got I have got a list of them and I can't think of the names. Anthony Hopkins, I don't know if you'd know him over there.
Yeah. I know.
He's autistic.
Okay.
You know, he's autistic, but he doesn't have a learning disability. He has an above average IQ. So you can have autism and have a learning disability, or you could have autism with no learning disability.
Exactly.
So people confuse it with a level of intelligence, and it's not.
It's not. Yes, it's the like a child interest where he or she will want to do the next act. Not specifically, we parents had to impose on a child that you must or you must study. We have to observe the intentions and his interest where it is developing.
And the thing is with ADHD is it's the way the brain is wired, and if they don't, I can't think what it's called, synapses. If they have to connect, and that's what helps you carry on the task, whether it's finishing a job or reading something that the history teacher has just given you, if they don't connect, and a lot of the times they won't, unless you're interested in it.
Exactly.
So because it won't connect, you're not going to retain the information. You're bored. You can't do it. Not that you can't do it. Your brain is not connecting to it.
Connected, exactly. So these are the basic things that parents must need to focus on their child, what he or she want to do. So as per your experience, what are some tips you want to say to the parents of a special child? What are the basic one thing when their kid or the child is diagnosed with any disability, either it is autism, ADHD, or a slow learner, Down syndrome, and whatever. So as you're an advocate, what you give specifically a tip for parenting to raise a child?
I think the child has got to experience as much as possible because you could never, okay, if you're a child and you could be an absolutely brilliant piano player, but because you've never actually put your hands onto a piano, you're not going to know, are you? You know what I mean? So I know one girl that's never played the piano, and she sat with a friend in her school this one day, and she had a little go on it. The girl taught her for 5 minutes, and she plays the piano perfect now. She's so natural at it, but she would never ever have even knew that, you know, because they've never given us an opportunity. And I think that's what a lot of the autistic people are not getting, the opportunities, because they have communication difficulties, or they're communicating with behavior that they're not going to be accepted into that piano school. You know, and it's wrong. Instead of listening to what they're communicating, because there's a reason they're communicating like that.
Exactly.
But no, try everything. Give them a go of everything.
So
I mean, you can see with your team for the Olympics team, it's they've learning disabilities, aren't they?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But if this group wasn't formed, they wouldn't get this opportunity, would they? You know, and there isn't enough of these things that cater for, you know, someone that has difficulty joining that group, you know, because they feel different.
Feel is different, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is the basic thing that you have said, that it's necessary to be a parent to focus on your child. And one thing more I want to ask, what do you say about inclusion and acceptance of that child with a special need, either in your family, either in a school, or in any area? Because there's so many like hashtags that a society is not accepting that. But how we parents have to deal with that? How much inclusion is necessary in your family? In the school,
I believe it's down to that child. Now, if that child, you with ADHD and autism, it's that you have a personality. Whether you could be an introvert, you could be an extrovert, you could be an introverted extrovert. So one person's going to like that crowded place and love it, and another person's not going to. So why force that child into that group where they don't fit in, they don't want to be there? You know, if that child wants to do that, then let them do it. If they don't want to be included, no. And I think for parents, a lot of parents have got to stop listening to other people and stop letting them have a say. This is your child.
This is what, exactly.
You know, unless you have to learn what your child is trying to communicate to you. And if that is being aggressive, there's a reason. Why have they gone from 0 to 1,000 in that space of time? You know, is the environment too loud for them? Is there too many people there? Is the group too big? You know, if you're introverted, you're not going to like the large groups. You know, and because they can't regulate their emotions,
exactly,
they'll go in 0 to 1,000 in an instant because they can't help it. But there's lots of ways you can teach to regulate their emotions, but it's got to be done at such a young age, because that's where the mental health starts. You know, because you go through life always being in trouble, always getting told off your behavior, always the one in the wrong. And then mental health kicks in. You become that negative person, and it's a way of life, and it's hard to come out of it.
Exactly. And that's true. And that's true that we don't have to bound our life within a room or within your house. It's first of all, acceptance is very necessary for the parents. So if we accepted all these things, then we will groom our child better, in a better way, more than us.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's got to start somewhere, you know, and once so many people start understand, and I don't like the word accepting, because why do they have to be accepted? You should be accepted anyway. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are, or, you know, it's about awareness. You know,
exactly.
This is real. This is a real thing. You need to be aware of what it is.
Exactly.
And this is what your child is going to experience. You know, executive functioning difficulties, sensory processing difficulties.
Exactly.
Interaction difficulties. You have to go through each one of that one child.
Exactly.
If you know they're not going to cope in a busy room, don't take them to a busy place. You know, until they're old enough that they make their own choices.
Exactly. That's a very Avoid's point, that until they're old, or at a certain age when they want, and that was the age when they want to do anything by themselves, up to their choices.
Yes. And the thing is, with someone that's autistic and ADHD, they're not really people that will be controlled. And I think that's where a lot of the aggression can come from, because they're always trying to be controlled. You grow up being controlled. You go through school being controlled. You join a club and you're controlled. And they're not very, you know, autistic people will find it difficult.
Yeah, when we parents understand, so by that time, slowly and gradually, we start understanding the pros and cons regarding autism and or ADHD. So one thing more I want to ask: what is the basic thing, as you as a parent would suggest us, up to your experience, to build the good relationship between a child and a mother and a child, or a family, parents and a kid? What is the basic thing we build our relationship with fruitfully, with a strong bonding?
Stop blaming the child, because, like we say, these what they're experiencing, that it needs help, it needs support, it needs guidance, it needs understanding. That if you have someone that thinks quite rigid, once they know that they do think quite rigid, and they can say and think some ways that, you know, maybe not be quite right. So as a person, I know that I need to ask for that support. You know, did you think I made that decision right? Was I really one narrow-minded, thinking, you know, rigidly? You know, once you know that, you've got to help yourself. You know, if you're someone that takes everything quite literally, you are probably always on the defense. You're hearing things that really someone hasn't said, but you take it the wrong way. And then you end up in constant conflict. You know, but if the people around, family, you know, if they can go, you know what, they don't mean that. So let's guide them that way. Let's give them that support. Don't take offense at things, you know, they don't mean it.
Exactly.
They know right from wrong, but they don't, they cannot regulate any emotion, whether it's happy, whether it's sad, whether it's upset. You know, everything really with an autistic person is very extreme. Very extreme emotions. So what's understanding that you have extreme emotions, that so maybe I'm exaggerating that, maybe I'm over exaggerating that bit of anger or that sadness, or you know, it's understanding.
Yeah, and it's very true that it's really it's better to understand your child. But one thing that linked in with sometimes the mother is very stressed with the home chores, with other child, with lot of burden and stress, and at times at moment like came that she put up all the stress on a child. At what moment, at that time, what we mothers or we mothers or fathers, what we do at that time? And this is not a good thing to push your stress on a child.
I think it's a stressful, very, very stressful. There's not much you can do other than support them, is it? And you know, once they do get a bit older, there's they, you know, they are going to become a lot more capable. You know, it's a hard road. There is not much as a parent we can do until they've got to an age where they can be independent.
Exactly.
It's hard. I haven't found the answer to that. It's I think as they get to a certain age, they're what they find difficult at 10 years old, you know, they might not find that difficult at 20 years old. So, you know, your executive functioning skills are still developing up until you're about 28.
Exactly.
So you're learning, you've got 28 years to learn to regulate your emotions.
Exactly.
So it's not too late, you know, to help with the regulating. And that's it. Really is.
It's really hard. Yes, it's really hard for a parent to understand them and to tell the child that we are also like parent, and sometimes you as a mother, you also got stressed by the time. So there are so many things. But your advice to a parent that how calm must be the parents have to raise up a special child.
How what, sorry?
How calm to for example, if I give you an example, a mother is very stressed all the time, remain in a stressed, thinking all the time that his son or a daughter is born with a special need. So how much it is important for a mother to keep away from stress, to keep her mind in peace, to keep her mind in to keep away all the negativities that she will live a life with that child. How much it is important for a mother or for a parent to keep herself away from all depression, stress, and anxiety?
Absolutely, it's got to be. You can't. You complete. If you're not calm, all that's going to happen is you are going to send the child more into a meltdown. You know, they are going to go from 0 to 1,000 a lot quicker if they're in a stressful situation. If they're with someone that's stressed out, that's going to rub off on them, which is going to make them 10 times worse.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's got to be any calm.
Yes.
Calm. They're normally highly anxious people anyway. So if the environment is in a hostile environment, they're going to pick it up quickly.
Exactly.
And react to it.
Exactly. Yeah. So, one should have to be very careful about herself as well, and your kid as well. Raising autistic child. So, one more question I want to ask that. What are the long concerns that what you say that either a child with a special need to the extent he or she will succeed in any way, in any field?
They will.
In any field, like in painting, in any work, sort of like sports.
Everyone has an ability, and it's finding that ability. Just because you're autistic, you still have ability. And it's something that you enjoy, but you've got to find that ability. You know, but if you don't do something, you're not going to know your ability.
We have to focus on the child, that what are the abilities he or she will have.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, if you've got the ability to play a piano, you've got that ability. Now, if you give me a piano, I don't have that ability because I've tried. And I would enjoy the lessons to become a piano player. So I would do it. Exactly. You know, but if that child has got that ability, they found their ability. You know, that is finding it. And that's what schools should be doing, but that's not the way it is.
Yeah, regarding it's a very good question. If I talk about regarding schools, there is a huge difference between a typical child and an autistic child. As on the basis of inclusive studies, because autistic child they are slow learners. Either if they are slow learners, but they schools. Coming to the same question, that what you suggest that in schools there must be applied for inclusive studies with a typical child along with a child with a special need?
I think the school system is a one size fits all. It's, you know, I don't think it's just about autism with schools. If you're academic, you're academic. If you are great with your hands, if you can paint brilliant pictures, you know, but schools don't offer that. School is you sit at a desk and you learn for 6-7 hours a day, and this is what you're going to learn, and that's it. Children don't get a choice.
Exactly.
Children aren't given, and there is no choice. The school is school. There is a variety of different schools where there should be. You know, a creative arts school, a sports school. You know, you can still do English and maths.
Exactly.
If you want science, only someone who wants science. But that opportunity is not there.
Exactly.
And I think
is that continue, please.
Unless it changes, we're going to always have this problem, because there's a lot of autistic people that are extremely academic. Look at Albert Einstein.
Exactly. Yeah.
Albert Einstein, but he couldn't do academic work.
Exactly.
He wasn't academic. He was just absolutely brilliant at maths.
Exactly.
You know, so he lost out a place at a top university because he didn't pass English or something. So he lost his place. The school system is still the same.
Exactly. And this is the basic thing, which one thing just as you have said, that maths and English, it must, to my, like my sometimes my vision is that at least any special child or slow learner kid, autistic, ADHD, and it must have to study basics. They must learn, they must read and write.
Absolutely.
They must read and write, not up to the extent that they had to calculate, they had to solve the problems in physics, chemistry, not that, but simple things like many problems.
To a level that they're capable of.
Exactly, yes. How much they're capable of. Like they must, we all parents on the high level or up to the school level, you as a parent, I must raise the voice that all kids must learn must learn to the extent where they want to. Basic things in life.
Yeah, definitely. They need to learn how to be independent, how to think in different ways, but they also need opportunities.
Exactly.
They're not. And I think it's with a child that is autistic or ADHD, especially hyperactive, and if they have a love for sports, okay, if they are running around for 2 hours doing a sport that they absolutely love, and then they come in and then they do a maths class, okay, their regulation is so their body is so regulated because of that, what they've been doing, that their mind is more open, that it's going to retain the information of what they're about to learn.
Exactly.
But no one does that. You're sat at a desk, you've got half an hour running around outside, you're back into your desk. It's not going to happen.
Exactly.
And then you leave school without an education.
Exactly. I know it's a bit difficult for a child with a special need to learn or to reach up to the level of masters or a PhD. But I do like what you suggest. I like it's up to my personal experience that a child must study the basic things. Only the basic things. When he or she will grow up, these kids know how to deal with the people, how to deal with the money problem. If they go somewhere, they have to read and write. Anyhow, not much. They must
to a level that they're capable of.
Yes, exactly. They're capable of. So all schools or inclusive setup. I hope that like this awareness must be reached up to the high level, up to the level of understanding. That all parents must understand that to raise a child with a special need is a big thing. I know is a very difficult task, but at the same time there are different challenges, and your challenge is to raise your child in a normal environment, in a normal way. And because the thing is that you are living in UK, the environment is different, the society is different. I'm living in Pakistan. Here, the society is different. Their moods are different. Their thoughts are different. So, what you suggest in that way, that socially, how how like how come it possible? It is necessary for a kid to be socialized
to help them, an autistic person to socialize.
Socialize, yes.
If they want to socialize, if that child is not a person that really enjoys socializing, then why are we forcing them to? Do you know what I mean? And it's like I said, it's down to the family, it's down to the parents.
Exactly.
If you take a child that really can't handle loud places and you take them into a loud environment, you're gonna know that they are going to have some kind of meltdown. So why put them through it? Why put yourself through it? You know, it's a lot down to you're a child and you'll do what I tell you to do.
Exactly.
And while that is the way, then that's going to happen. Society has to change. Society needs more awareness and less judging. You know, we're told how to discipline. We're told how to treat our children. We're told what we can and can't do. You know, but if we don't have to listen to that.
Exactly.
You know, if you don't want to listen to my child having a meltdown because the environment's too noisy, then go.
Exactly. Yes,
really,
you're
as a
absolutely
parent,
right.
don't take them.
Yes, you are absolutely right that you have to take a stand for your child.
Yeah.
If
no one else is going to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You like most of the times that you have in your past 15-year experience, you have faced many times that there are so many people roaming around and saying some words on the on your child that he's slow learner. There are so many things every mother, every parent had faced in society.
But that's going to happen in society anyway, isn't it? You're just going to learn not to listen to other people.
Yes, exactly. Here also there are the same things parents are facing. But when you are so much capable of answering them, then no one had that ability to say any word to your child, is it?
Yeah, no. There needs they I wouldn't have anyone.
Why do
I wouldn't
they
let anyone?
Yeah. Yes. Please carry.
But they stop allowing somebody to give you their opinion of your child.
Exactly.
They don't have an opinion. They don't have an opinion. It's only if you allow them to have an opinion.
Exactly. That's the very good point, that you are the one to allow them to say anything to your child.
Yeah. So you know, you don't have you have a choice. Don't listen. Yeah. Tell them to mind their own business.
Exactly.
Or tell them to go away and learn what autism is. Yes, they have difficulty regulating emotions, and this is why this is happening, because this is having a difficult time.
Exactly.
In the situation.
Yes, that's really
it's always going to happen.
And I think that every mother had faced these things socially.
Yeah.
We can't change like 90% of society, 90% of people to say any word to our child, but we can spread awareness to them.
Yeah.
And we parents must have gained much confidence and much stronger.
Yeah. Stand up.
Yeah, exactly.
Stand up for your child.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. Definite. There's not enough people standing up. Not enough people understand. So awareness is needed.
Yes. Awareness is needed, and then let the people go on, or sometimes you have to listen then, and sometimes you have to ignore them.
Exactly.
Don't bother them.
Exactly. Just politely say that I'm not interested in your opinion.
Exactly. Simple as that. Otherwise, they will not take a minute, or next time they won't say anything when they are faced by.
Exactly.
So one more thing. I think it's been an hour. One last thing I want to say, that you, as an advocate, what you suggest were the very basic, as a parent, what is the very positive and basic thing which parents had to implement on their child for raising a child positively?
Positively, I think to the earliest that they understand that the difficulties that they're having, they themselves can help the situation, but the child has to understand that. Like, for example, like saying again, if they can't cope in a busy place, don't take them. You know, but the child knows I'm not going to get on in that place. Or puts, you know, if they want to go to that place, put the earphones on, so you're keeping the level low. You've got to put the place for yourself. If you want to go, it's when the child is forced to go and they really can't handle the situation, and then you'll see the aggression. So it's understanding yourself. Everything is with autism and ADHD is understanding yourself.
Exactly.
You know, why, if you can't regulate your emotions, help yourself by learning how to regulate your emotions. Instead of blaming everyone else for you having a meltdown, you know, because at the end of the day, it's not acceptable behavior. You've got to start to control yourself. You know, you can't be having a screaming fit in the middle of town, you know, but that happens with age. You know, you develop them skills.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good point that you have said. Try to regulate your emotions, and
you've got to help yourself.
Yes, exactly. You have to regulate your emotions, your feelings. By the passage of time, these things were changed. So if I think it's like 1 hour, and thank you so much. It's been so lovely to have you in my session, and thank you so much for giving me your time and your sharing your experience. And I hope people will more aware about autism and their experience.
Yeah, it's got to. I think they've got to understand the sensory issues and the executive functionings, and the rest will just fall into place.
Exactly. It's like LinkedIn with all the environment and all the thing that had been developing within the kid. It's up to you and your child developing. Thank you so much for giving me time. For more, I will take you for more sessions if you give me time. I'm really like honored to have you in my session.
Thank you.
And thank you so much. Stay blessed. You want to say anything? You want to say anything at the end?
No. No. The beginning was a bit.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Stay blessed. Lots of love to your child, and
you
stay
too,
happy.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you. Bye.
Bye.